All right, good morning, ladies. So today's coffee and confidence. So today is an on the go for me. And I'm gonna check because I think that there's an echo in here. The reason for that is because we're creating a new women's wisdom and wellness studio. I'm super excited because, and hence my coffee on the go. Normally I would bring my cup with me and this whole process that's been going on this week. But I walked out without my coffee, go figure. Okay, so lots of things going on. If you have felt all this amazing energy since the full moon, the lunar eclipse, and it is Wednesday, so anyone remember what day it's associated with the planets? So we are speaking, and what I want to talk to you guys today about is there is currently a lot of women who really want to come together, who really want to speak their voice. I think I'm going to stop using the speak their truth because a lot of times people don't understand there is the truth and there is what is currently your truth and coming in alignment with what the truth is. And this is age-old, ancient understandings, teachings, wisdom, however you want to unpack that. So I was listening to Lynn McTaggart today, and I really love her. If you are familiar with her work, she ran the Intention Experiment, and this was years ago. It's been a while. But what an incredible reminder, especially right now. What are our intentions for life? What are our intentions for our wellness and our health? What are our intentions for our communities to come together and to be a better humanity? And so one of the classes we're gonna run here is gonna be an intention class. We're gonna couple that with breathing and, because it's all about the breath. Cheers, I need to have a sip of coffee. I think it's kind of hot. But, a lot of these things are coming together. So when the opportunity to take this space came up, it was like, oh, not another office. I want to call it an office. So I've been in a couple different clinics and a couple different visions over a lot of different years, and they've all had their own personality and the fluidity, but really without everybody aligning with their intention, their own personal intention. Right, we're talking a lot about personal responsibility this year, every year, but this year, and what that means to you, what your choices are, how you can stand in your wellness sovereignty. And that is giving you the freedom to, the sovereignty to make your own choice, okay? This isn't even about what nation you're in. It is about you as a being on this planet and how it relates to your connection to divine. So here we are, right? So you still want to keep your own, be your own kind of beautiful. You want your own incarnation, your own personality, your own process to happen. But ultimately, we are here to learn, to grow, to be in service of each other. And there's this greater picture, whether you're pulling it out of the Bible, you're pulling it out of whatever religious book. There's so many nuggets of amazing wisdom, whether they're in a parable form, or they are quotes, or they are, I don't know how else to put them, the way the writings are, the way the teachings are, right? And so that's not what today is going to be about. Coffee and confidence. So the confidence, ladies, is in knowing your own internal wisdom. So we are so confused, we're so bound up, we're so distracted by what we're supposed to do as identified primarily by an external source that we don't always listen to our internal wisdom. And man, let me tell you, it's an amazing place in there if we stop long enough to take the time to listen. And a lot of that is we are trained from our early years to be busy, to be productive, to get so many things in, to have this resume of things you can check off the list. I know for me, it was definitely by the time I'm 25, I'm gonna have a career, I'm gonna have my job, my family started, I'm gonna have a house, I'm gonna, my education will be wherever there is. And I had all of those things, and I still found myself on my knees in tears, not knowing, what I was doing wrong because I was so unfulfilled. And I think I was 25 or 26 at that time. So what was gonna fill me up? If all of these things that I was doing or having weren't enough. And that was really, I think, when my search started for what all of this means. And not to say I didn't have all those nuggets along the way, as I'm sure all of you have. Who was that influence in your life? Those things are real, those little messengers, we call them our porch people. Michael and I call them our porch people. They are those that have gone before us, or maybe those that have been a part of our divine existence. They're on our team. Sometimes they're hysterically laughing at us because we are making plans, but we're not listening. It's kind of that moment where they're like, oh, here goes another decade, or from the perspective above, time is not linear as we experience it here. So I have re-pulled out one of my favorite readings, and it's called, I have many readings. Do you guys actually read? I encourage you to pick up a book, read paper, get off of your device for reading sometimes, and writing as well. There's a huge connection between actually handwriting and reading paper than there is on your electronics. Okay, it's called The Untrue Story of You. And I think I'm trying to remember when I came across this. Maybe it was around the Everything You Know Is Wrong. That was an eye-opening book, if any of you guys have ever read that. I could only dabble in that one. It was really tough. But The Untrue Story of You has a lot to do of, so this is Brian Hubbard, and Brian and Lynn McTaggart are husband and wife. So how to let go of the past that creates you and become fully alive in the present. So a lot of the stories that we tell ourselves are past imprints, and those imprints occur inside this little noggin of ours. And what that is the imprints occur usually in our real early years, and they imprint on the amygdala. And there's two little on the back of your inside your protective skull there, and the amygdala creates the signal. So what'll happen is you have an experience. It's an imprintable experience. Michael calls them the download moments, right? We download a lot of moments, but there are some that we just vividly remember. So these imprints occur related to a circumstance or situation that's happened, an experience, an emotion. You imprint that, and then when that occurs again, this is part of our learning process, right? We go, oh, I know what that is. That's coming up. And then we turn, lower the screen, turn on the projector, and boom, we have a relatable experience. Now, after a number of times of that, we go into an auto mode, kind of like click, right? And you kind of start missing what's happening in your life because you're no longer attached to it in the present. People will also, I guess judge you isn't the word I'm looking for, but they will say, let's just use the example of, I've been meeting with somebody for a month, and let's just say it's in a class. That works. We're in a class setting here in the studio. Okay, so-and-so is late every single time, right, for this last month. But now they've kind of had this change of heart, they're stepping up their responsibility game, and now they're on time. But we all remember so-and-so as the person that's late to class every time. It hasn't changed yet. It hasn't caught up with the action that's out there. So there's kind of this time gap from where the past was to where the present currently is. So we're in that shifting mode of what's happening. And so in the Untrue Story of You, we're talking about 3 energy centers and how they connect together. And these are things we talk about all the time, gals, especially with our coffee and confidence. The thing is if you're not sure where to look with where you are, and we get lost a lot because it's really confusing out there. There's so many messages. And the first thing you really, really, really need to think about doing is detaching from media. I don't care if it's alternative media, I don't care if it's mainstream media, social media. There's so much media. Detach a little bit from it. Actually detach a lot from it, because what you're going to realize is that you will be steeped in yourself and in nature and in your environment, external from the media you're allowing into your life right now. And that media is not in your favor. It is not for your health. It is not in favor of you being the best human being that you can. It's not, I'm not trying to be out there and be negative on this, but you need to take control of who you are and not be influenced by those things. I think the number one thing I have seen in the last decade is that people can't think for themselves. And you're an amazing, wonderfully made, intelligent human being. And that is why in my practice, I primarily will work with intelligent, intuitive women, because they can get connected on many levels. And that is what you get to do. And then the cool part, or not cool part, depending on where you are, is you get to unlayer so many of those things. So we start unlayering the mental, emotional, and the body unlayers as well. And I'll tell you, I feel like I've been kind of crushed, like run over by a Mack truck, not only from some of the physical things that I've been doing, but because every step is another unlayering. Like, the cool part is not to send this out there, but you do this more than one time in your life. It's not like you do it once and woohoo. We are so much more complex than that. But it becomes this amazing opportunity to create your life in the way that you want to create it, instead of being led around by the carrot. So in that unlayering process, people come into our lives, situations come into our lives, and we start recognizing the difference between being a reaction to whatever, we have them all the time, into being responsive, which is where you're aware, and then you choose what happens next. You choose how you respond to things. Reaction is definitely knee-jerk, and we're gonna have them. We've had a lifetime of them, depending on how old you are too. But I also noticed that we carry a collective reaction. We carry an ancestral reaction. Some of it is in our DNA, it's in our cell structure. It has been shown that we carry along things that have happened in our lineage. Isn't that so exciting? Like, the cell structure vibrates, right? So when we're talking about the intention experiment and the research that's been done all the way down to the biophoton level, which is, you know, biophotonics. There's no cell in there. Like, there's a resonance that occurs around you. This is an aura, right? This is a glow. Some people just have this beautiful energy and they radiate. Like, this is where that comes from. So think about how many pictures portray this amazing radiance of life. And it's really cool. And life is like that. So, okay, I think that's enough chat. Be your own kind of beautiful, ladies. Today, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come in and chat a little bit in this new space. I just love it. Like, this color just kind of jumped out at me. And then I have these textures, like I think this door, I think these walls are, I don't know, 100 years old, maybe. I don't maybe I'm just exaggerating because the energy in this space is so different. There's this glow that occurs just in the natural lighting, so I'm trying to preserve that, and the wood of the walls, and we're just putting in some new flooring, so it's super exciting. And my hubby is by far the shit, if I can just say that. I hope you'll come in and see our wisdom center. I don't know exactly what to call it yet, but yeah, this is a color I think I had very similar to when my daughter was born, and I don't know what it is about it. We're definitely residing in the third eye colors in the spectrum, but it's amazing, and I just feel happy here, and a lot of healing is going to happen here, and a lot of connection and harmony, and a lot of digging into that level of wisdom. It's gonna be amazing. Okay, so the untrue story of you. And let me tell you, I have a lot of books, gals, so anyone you wanna borrow, come on in. There are many, many, many. We will talk much more about these things together. So today, what I would love for you to do is just take in that deep breath. Breathing matters. It matters. It is just at the core of everything. So we'll go with my 3 here. When you inhale, you're not only physically engaging your body, but that breath comes in. It's the Trinity. It's the inhale, it's the pause, it's the exhale. Right? So the inhale is the feminine, the exhale is the masculine, and the pause is in the creation. It's just amazing. We have past, we have present, and we have potential. So the Trinity is pretty amazing when we look at it. It shows up in so many places. But we have the physical inhale, right? And we have where energy and matter connect. That is another level, which is incredible. So in training, a lot of times we talk about midline. Well, there's a midline for physical, there's a midline for your energetic, and there is absolutely a midline for your divine connection. So we're getting aligned, ladies, and everyone has their own beautiful, unique expression of that alignment. And that is what I think excites me the most, is to see you get connected to you, and us being together, we, in the grand scheme of things. All right, have a wonderful week. Confidence. I will see you gals later. I'm gonna say next week, but I have a feeling I'll be on here sooner. All right, cheers.